Hey, I'm Ryan, and I've sold $191,000 worth of high ticket custom websites. And this channel is specifically for graphic designers who are trying to add this service to their current offerings, maybe do branding or logos, etc. Adding high ticket custom website design, not templated website design, can make you a ton of money. So that's what I'm doing, and you can learn how to offer this service without knowing code, development, really anything about websites. And I'm teaching every single thing you need to know on this channel with no secrets or gatekeeping. The reason I'm doing this, well, I like it, and I'm confident I can add 5 to 10K a month to your business. It's all free, but one day, hopefully, I can make money teaching this kind of thing. And I'm trying to meet more people. So in this series, I currently have 11 videos that I'm planning to do. This is video number 5. This one is specifically about hiring, but the last 4, we went over the overview of the model, what to offer, how to price it, different pricing models and pricing templates, which are extremely important to the survivability of the business. And then last video, I talked about the tech stack, everything that I use there. So as a quick reminder, there are 2 ways to add websites to your current offering. Exactly meaning high ticket custom websites. Sorry, brain fog. It's been a long day. There's 2 ways. You can do the referral partner, which you can work with somebody like me or another agency or whatever, where you basically just send them the referrals that you have. You already have clients that want websites. So just say, hey, I don't do it, but Ryan does, send them to me. And then you get a percentage of the project without having to understand everything and learn. You can make 1 to 3K per month doing this. It's insanely easy. You literally send 1 email and you can get paid basically immediately. So that's the benefits of that one. The other one, which is what I'm teaching a little bit more of on this channel, is the subcontracting aspect. Now, I never recommend that you go figure out how to develop websites. Do not do that. That's not the way to do it. You can subcontract very reasonably priced to experts, amazing work. We're going to talk about that in a second. You can add 5 to 10K a month to your current offering. It's easy. It's not very easy, but it's easy. It's definitely easy to understand. It still requires work. And I think you could probably start making money within 14 days or honestly less. All right. So we're going to talk about hiring contractors in this one. I'm going to talk about where to find talent, some tips. The tips are important because these are things that will save you money and time and mistakes. What to look for in a designer, what to look for in a developer, and the process of hiring. So, all right, let's get into it. Actually, before we get into it, I want to talk about one thing specifically that I really like to talk about, and it's really important. Hiring subcontractors from other countries that aren't the US or English-speaking primarily countries is a massive hack. These people, a lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times, are exceptional. They do quality work. They respond quickly. They provide guarantees for their work. They make any mistakes, they come fix it. They work any hours that you need them to. They cost less. A lot of the work that I hire is not the lowest price work you can buy in the world. I haven't had great experiences with certain countries that have the absolute lowest prices in the world. But there are a lot of countries that I'll get into that I feel like you can get insanely high levels of work for a overall low budget. All right, so let's just talk about it. So a lot of these you probably know. You all probably know all of them, maybe not Contra because that one's a little bit newer. But Fiverr is where you should start, in my opinion. And I'll tell you what you need to look out for on Fiverr when hiring a designer or developer. But it's great. The downside of Fiverr is they have a lot of fees. And, well, that's really the only downside. But you get the reviews on there. You can kind of figure out who's who. Upwork is okay. I would say it's second to Fiverr. You get higher quality work, but they want higher prices. They want you to pay them hourly instead of per project. And just the interface and the payment is a little bit more difficult on Upwork. Contra is excellent. It's just really small. You can find some good people on there. It's just small and new, but their fees are less. So it's definitely worth checking out. I found a lot of good people in Facebook groups. Just literally go to a group with whatever tool you're building on. I would need a Figma designer, go to the Figma designer page or go to a web designer page. Or if you're building using the stack I'm using, look for an Elementor developer or a Divi developer or something like that. Or if you're using Webflow or Framer, go ahead. But you can find some great people in those groups. Just be careful. Be careful when paying. The benefit of using Fiverr, Upwork, Contra is your money is safe. It's put into escrow. So if, especially Fiverr, I've done this with, if you pay somebody and they don't deliver what you need, Fiverr will actually refund you. So the person that took your money keeps their money, but Fiverr will actually pay you back in some cases. So there's just a level of security, especially with your first few. It's nice to have that security. You can pay Fiverr their 10% to have that level of security. It's your refund policy. When you're starting out, you might not have the $1,000 to just lose. So I recommend doing something with escrow, like Fiverr or Upwork or Contra. And then you can find people on Instagram and Indeed too. Same thing as Facebook. All right, so tips. Pay by project always. This is great for cash flow. It's great to just align, because in my video about pricing, I talk about pricing per project and not by hourly. You don't want to put yourself in a place where you're charging hourly. You can't scale that. We don't need to talk about that. When you're working with these contractors, be kind and responsive. They get mistreated a lot. They get ghosted a lot. It's really tough being them. But then you do have the opposite, where you have those types of contractors that will try to take advantage of you. They'll try to get by with doing bad work. They'll try to get by with, saying they misunderstood something. So be kind and responsive to them, but be firm with them. Don't get banned or don't get them banned from the platforms you're using. If you try to do sketchy things and get around Fiverr's 10% fees, then you can get them banned. You can get yourself banned. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. Eventually, you'll get to a point where you can talk to people outside of these platforms, and you can figure out ways to pay them. But you need to really trust them if you're going to do that. Everyone has WhatsApp. Just if you don't have WhatsApp, get it. And so when you are interviewing, it's important to ask good questions. I'm going to talk about in these next two what questions to ask, but you don't want to ask them questions that the answer is very obvious, because a lot of times they'll just answer the obvious thing. So instead of saying, hey, are you an expert at Elementor? Because that's what I need. Say, what design plugins are you best at? And if they don't say the one that you need, if they say, oh, I do Beaver Builder, and you don't want to use that, then don't hire that person. Because if you tell them what to say, they will just say they're an expert at Elementor. You'll end up hiring somebody that's not a pro. You want somebody to say, hey, I use Elementor only. This is what I'm great at. And then when you hire them, you'll have good experience. Do not hire a person that is both a designer and developer. Now, there's, of course, use cases for this, but generally speaking, you want to split these roles. And the reason for that is because, number one, for scale reasons, you need separate people that can be busy at separate times. Number two, I don't think in most cases one person is extremely talented at both. A lot of times they are extremely talented at one of them. So instead of getting somebody who's 5 out of 10 design, 5 out of 10 developer, just get 2 people that are both 10 out of 10s in those things. And then when you do a form, you will get tons of ChatGPT answers. Just filter those out. If somebody cannot answer if they can't apply to a job without just pure GPT, and you see a bunch of M dashes, you see unlock and discover, just get rid of them. You don't want to work with those people, because chances are their English isn't good enough to speak with you, or they're lazy. You want people that actually answer questions and think through the questions, and you should ask them questions that make them think. So let me show you, let me copy this link, and I will bring it up on my other screen. Okay. All right. So So this is my web designer application that I send to all the web designers that I work with. As you can see, I got 62 responses. I did end up hiring 1 or 2 designers from this, asking obviously the normal stuff: name, email, WhatsApp, what country you're based in. Now this is important for time zone. This is important for understanding what sort of accent this person may have, and certain accents are easier to understand or harder to understand for English. Making sure they're willing to work in your time zone. If they're not, just don't do it. It's not worth it. You need things right away in this business, and some things can be delayed a day or 2 or whatever. They have to be able to respond in your time zone. I always ask this question about English level of fluency. Most people answer this 2 points above where they actually are. So you'll get a lot of people that say they're C2 very proficient. You still have to interview everybody, but obviously if they say they're beginner, pre-independent, or independent, you probably don't want to work with them. Or you can interview them and see. But if you have 62 responses, it's very hard to interview 62 people. So this is a good question. I highly recommend you work with somebody that you can very, very clearly communicate with. So again, I'm asking, what tools do you use when designing? So I didn't say, do you use Figma? Because I like to use Figma. Just say, what tools do you use? Now you might be okay with Figma or Photoshop or whatever, but this is also good to know. If somebody says like Canva, well, okay, this is not a person for you. Link to portfolio, you need that. You're going to look through everything. Beware, people do lie about their portfolios. They'll steal portfolios. I have people stealing my portfolios that are using them, my portfolio that's using it. So you need to vet these things a little bit, but you should look at it at least. Make sure they get paid per project. Sometimes I ask if they're willing to do a homepage design for free. Now, a lot of times they say no. That's totally fine. If they have a portfolio, then chances are you don't need them to do a design for free. If they don't have a portfolio, they should be willing to do a design for free because you have no idea if their work is good or not. Or sometimes people do a trial design for you, trial development, where you give them 1 section or 2 sections to design. Or you say, hey, design me 3 hero sections for this website, and just see what they get back to you and see if they have chops. It's good. And you can do a test project for, $50 or whatever, and just see if they're good. And that way they feel valued. You're not like completely ripping them off, but you get to see if they're actually good or not. Unlimited revisions for paid projects. Now, a lot of times people freak out when they hear that I offer unlimited revisions, and my designers and developers all have to provide unlimited revisions to all my projects or I don't work with them. This may seem unreasonable, but I am very clear with what types of revisions I allow. And I'm very clear with when revisions are allowed. And there is cutoffs to unlimited. So the homepage is unlimited until you approve it. And once you approve it, we're not revising it anymore. Once you approve the design and it's already been developed, we're not revising anything. Or we're only revising text or photos and things like that. So it's unlimited to a degree, and then it stops. It's not unlimited forever. So that's the difference. But you need this because your clients are going to ask for a lot of revisions in web design, just how it works. Just get over it, deal with it, do it. It's not that hard. The most I ever get is maybe 3 rounds, and I offer unlimited. So if you want 10 rounds, you could technically do that with me. But the most I've ever gotten is 3 or 4 rounds, and that client was just super happy. They left me a 5-star review. It's just do good work, do good by the clients, and they're happy. And if you find the people that will work for you for unlimited, then you can offer unlimited for no extra cost. Get some pricing ideas, get some timing ideas, comment your profile, and find out if they do development as well. You don't have to do that last one, but I did for this. Okay, so that is what to look for in Designer. And Developer is pretty similar, but again, we're asking what tools they use. When you go into an interview, have them log into a backend or multiple backends that they did. Have them click into the plugins. Ask them to explain all of the plugins they installed and why they did that. Ask them how they handle dynamic pages. Ask them how they handle ACF. Have them click into some pages specifically in Elementor, and like look through them and ask them, hey, what sizing did you use for this? Is this view height? Or are you using pixels? Are you using EM? Just ask them tough questions. And what you can do too, what I did at the beginning was I just asked ChatGPT, I'm like, what are some tough questions I can give these guys? Where they actually have to explain their thought process. And even if you don't fully understand what they're saying at the beginning, you can understand whether or not they know what they're talking about. So ask tough questions where they have to think. Now, you don't have to do that in the application, but once you get to the interview stage where you're actually on a call with them, then do these things. Look for bloated plugins. You don't want a ton of plugins that'll slow down your site. Okay, I already talked about these things. Oh, and then speed. Some developers, they care about how fast the site is and their speed, and they're proud of it. Those are the people you want to work with. You don't want to work with people that don't care or blame the client. The developer can make the site move quickly. That's very important. It's important for SEO. It's important for user experience. You should find somebody that cares about this. It's not that hard to do. All right, process of hiring. So I normally reach out. I ask some simple questions like time zone, project price, availability, timeline, things like that. If they pass the requirements, then you can send them to a form and say, okay, great. Listen, I'd love it if you filled out a full application. They can't see that 62 people applied. They can just see that they're applying. Once you get all of those, Google Forms will put them all in a sheet for you. And you can just go through and start deleting rows. It's like, I won't work in EST, delete. I charge $700 for a design, delete. So these are the types of things that you can rule out quickly. Language fluency is poor, then you can just delete. Offer a test project if you like the person on the interview or whatever. So this is really important. You want to give them a detailed write-up of exactly what you need. And see if they don't deliver the exact thing that you asked for, ask them why they didn't. Because sometimes they did a bad job, and other times they have expertise in this area and they think it should be done a certain way or whatever. And sometimes that's good, sometimes it's not good. But a lot of times I really like it because the designer does know a lot of times things should be set up a certain way. Same thing with development, especially with responsive development. There's different ways to think about it. Just get their input. You can tell them they're wrong and do it the other way, but it is interesting to learn different ideas of people that are smarter than you about these things a lot of times. But when you give them a super detailed write-up, they should have no questions. They shouldn't have to be like, hey, what about this? What about this? Do you want me to do it like this? Do you want me to just write it up perfectly for them, give it to them, and see what they do. And if they ask you a billion questions, it might not be the person for you. I give them sitemap. I give them the wire. I don't give them exact wireframes. Like I'm not giving them like Reloom wireframes. Reloom, if you don't know, it's just an AI platform that does wireframes. I'm giving them just like a text document that's like every section of every page and what needs to be on it, the text that needs to be on it, any design. I'm giving them all the copy, all the photos, logos, and then the design guide. And when I do my kickoff call with the clients, the last like 15 minutes is just talking about design. What do you like? What colors? What theme? Do you like this aspect? And I'm like pulling up different sites and like pointing out different things. Do you like this? Do you like this? What do you think about this? And all those things should be given to them as well. And then pay them for the test project if you can. So, all right, that is how to hire. You can do it. It's not hard. It's very, very easy, and it's a very high arbitrage on time and money. So in tomorrow's video, I'm going to be going more in detail about how to sell and then get into some of these other videos. All right, see you next time.